Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us for the February Omega Recruit webinar. My name is Amanda, and today I'll be going over tips for a successful recruitment season. Hannah is also joining me, and she will answer any questions you may have throughout the webinar. I'll also answer some of those at the end of the webinar as well. We want to test out the question chat, so we're going to open up with a would you rather question. So would you rather have 8 a.m. classes every day or 8 p.m. classes every day? So pop your answer in the question chat, and I'm going to pass it over to Hannah, and she will tell you a little bit about Omega Phi.
Thank you, Amanda. Before I read about Omega Phi, I'm going to give you my answer. And after thinking about it for the last 10 seconds, I think I'm going to go every morning just because I think I would dread knowing that that was looming over me every single day at night. So definitely in the morning. And I see some people popping in the chat now too. The questions chat is working and they're agreeing with me with 8 a.m. So that's my personal winner. But moving on, just a quick history about Omega Phi. For more than 30 years, Omega Phi has provided technology solutions to help our customers manage their finances, streamline their operations, recruit new members, and communicate with their members. Whether it's working with 57 different headquarters, local chapters, house corporations, IFCs, Panhellenic councils, or alumni associations across more than 650 campuses, we remain the industry leader when it comes to technology in the fraternity and sorority community. Based out of Columbus, Georgia, we securely process more than $1.1 million per day for our clients, and we've securely processed more than $4 billion since 1992. We're also deeply committed to serving, promoting, and advancing the fraternity and sorority experience. We aim to make raving fans with every individual or group we work with by reaching, innovating, and acting with agility. We challenge ourselves to dream big every day and to help others achieve their own dreams. To say we're passionate about what we do is definitely an understatement, and it's this passion that has encouraged our clients to trust us to do the heavy lifting so they can focus on their mission and having fun.
Thanks, Hannah. I also would rather take the 8 a.m. class as well. Just go ahead and get it out of the way. So our agenda for today is we're going to look at tips for successful recruitment. We'll look at logins and account setup, the main menu and features. We'll look at voting and reporting. And then, as I mentioned earlier, at the end, we will go over questions. 3 things we recommend as best practices before getting into recruitment season are making sure that you have all of your members log into the Omega Recruit system at least 1 week before recruitment starts, if not earlier, if you all plan to run mock recruitment sessions. Remember, if you already use LickFi, Omega One, or Vault, or if your organization is listed under the login as single sign-on, make sure you are adding your members with the same email that is used for this. Typically, you can go into your organization's portal and export your members and emails to make sure you have the correct info to add your members to Omega Recruit. If you don't add them with the same email, they will end up with 2 different logins and will need to contact login support to condense those. The next thing that we recommend is making sure that you practice. We encourage that you run through a practice version of recruitment with all your members using our test files. So all your users can get the feel of Omega Recruit and how they will submit their votes. And then making sure that you train. As the admin for your chapter, make sure you are using the resources we have provided for you to learn the system and use it to its fullest potential. You can review webinars like this one, articles in our Help Center, which we'll show you later, as well as review the training information within Omega Recruit. These practices will set you up to have the best recruitment possible. As an admin, if your account is new, you will get an email that looks like this to begin the setup and get logged in. For members, they will get an email like this one that you see on the screen to set up their account. If a member has never used Omega Recruit before, that member must complete registration. A registration link is sent to members via email to the email address shown on the user list. If members used Omega Recruit in a previous year, they should be able to go ahead and log in with the same email and password they previously used. So let's look at how to add those users so they can get logged in. If you have yet to put in your recruitment dates when you log in, you will see this pop up. So we'll go ahead and enter those under the Edit Chapter tab. And make sure to click on the Save button. So now we'll go to Users, and then under the User list, this is where you can view all of the users that have been added for your chapter. This is where you can also manage groups, starring the user, marking them as an admin, restricting their access, deleting users, and resend registration emails. And this is where you will add users under the Add Users tab. This can be done individually or en masse by uploading an Excel spreadsheet. We want to help you make recruitment easy as 1, 2, 3. So today we are breaking the process into 3 steps of setting up your rounds, uploading your P&M list, and uploading your parties. After these steps, you will be good to go to start getting in votes. When you first sign in to Omega Recruit, you will see the setup page, which you can also get to from the P&M list. This page will walk you through each of the steps to set your chapter up for recruitment. Practice files are included on this page as well. That way you can run through a practice recruitment with fake data prior to the real deal. We do not recommend practicing with actual recruitment data, so we provide these files for you. You can download them by clicking on each one. Each of the steps for setup are numbered and have a clickable link to take you to the Omega Recruit page where you can complete them. You can also go to each of these pages from the menu on the left side of the page. So let's start with step 1 to set up our rounds. As you can see, this takes us directly to our Edit Rounds page. You will use the Add Round button to create all of the rounds for your recruitment. You will notice that the preference round flag will always move to be the last round. We recommend setting up all of your rounds at the same time. For this example, we will create 3 rounds. It is important to make sure to set all of them up initially to ensure that the system will calculate scores correctly. For each round, you can click on the pencil icon to rename it. As a note, if your parties stretch over multiple days but are still under the same round, then you would only set up 1 round for that, and you will be able to close voting at the end of each night and reopen that for the same round the next day. So to edit the names, you'll click on the pencil icon and then rename. You can also adjust each round between open voting and party voting. Open voting means that all P&Ms will be available on the ballot for members to choose from. If you use party voting, you can separate the P&Ms out into the parties that will be visiting your chapter. This limits the P&Ms available on the ballot to only the P&Ms that are in that party. This can save your members time in finding the correct P&M on the ballot. You will want to make sure you select the exact number of parties that the round will have. Since we are using the practice files today, our open house round will have 12 parties, and the sisterhood round will have 9 parties. Now that we have set up our rounds, we will select the Save button. Your rounds will not be fully set up until you have saved this page. Once you select the save icon, the page will refresh. You'll want to make sure you set up all your rounds at the same time. This will ensure that our calculations are correct as you go through recruitment, especially if your national organization has a specific configuration. So now we're ready to move on to step 2. So we'll go back to the P&M list here. And if this is closed, all you'll have to do is click on Setup, or you can close it once you upload your P&Ms to see your P&M list. You will see that step 1 has disappeared since we have completed this step already. Step number 2 is to upload the P&M, so let's click here. Uploading your P&Ms may look a little different depending on your school. If your campus uses ICS, you can connect to ICS. Once you have connected to ICS, this page will look a little different and you will have a button to import from ICS. If your campus uses Campus Director, you will need to download a file of your P&Ms from Campus Director and upload it here. I do want to note here that even if your campus uses ICS, you still have the ability to run through a practice recruitment using the test files. You will first want to make sure you are disconnected from ICS, upload the practice files and practice. Then you will connect back to ICS for actual recruitment. I will show you later where you can disconnect from ICS. To assist with the upload process, we provide detailed instructions and examples for how your file needs to be set up for a successful upload. Your file will need to look exactly like what is pictured here. Please keep in mind that any special formatting can get in the way of the system being able to read the data from your file. You will not want to have any sort of bolding, highlighting, sorting, filters, etc. Your file should be as plain as possible. Make sure to review all the columns listed and that the formatting for those is correct. So for example, for class names, that should be freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. Otherwise, it will not load into the system properly. Same with making sure P&Ms have GPAs. If you use those in your calculations, you'll want to make sure that they are listed. These are common mistakes that occur when uploading, and depending on your chapter scoring, can affect the overall. So when troubleshooting, make sure to review this file carefully. The headers for each column are very important and must exactly match what is listed here. If it does not exactly match one of these options, the system may not accept the file, or that data may not be successfully uploaded for that column. An example of one common mistake we see is the pictures. As you can see, the column header must be listed as either URL or P&M picture. This means if you upload it as picture or P&M URL or any other variation, your pictures will not successfully upload. We do include the option for custom columns. If you have any data that you want to include, but there is not a designated column header, you can label this column as custom 1, custom 2, etc. You will be able to rename the column header once the data has been uploaded into the system. Finally, you do have to have the file saved as an Excel 97-2003 workbook or as an XLS. This is very important and can prevent your file from being successfully uploaded. Once your file is in the correct format, you are ready to upload your P&Ms. Since I have already downloaded the practice P&M file, that is what I will be uploading today. Once you have uploaded your file, you will want to look for the green box letting you know that your upload was successful. If it was not, any issues will be listed below. For this example, our upload was successful, but we were missing an unrequired column. For any issues, it will list the exact row where the issue occurred. This will allow you to easily identify and fix the issue before uploading your file again. Now that we have uploaded the P&Ms, when we go to the P&M list, it will show everyone that you uploaded. And then to get back to the setup process, you'll click on Setup. You will see that step 2 has disappeared since we uploaded our P&Ms. We've already uploaded users, so we're going to skip step 3 for this, but you would click on step 3 to upload users for your chapter. You do not necessarily have to do all these steps in the exact order they are listed. We will talk about uploading users in just a minute. For now, we are actually going to jump to step 5, which is uploading your parties. This is another page that may look slightly different if you have connected to ICS. If you have, you will have a button to import from ICS. If your campus uses Campus Director, you will need to download a file of the party assignments from Campus Director and upload it here. Once again, we do provide detailed instructions and examples to ensure the upload is seamless. You will notice that this file is much simpler than the P&M file. You only need 2 columns, the MIN and the party. When you download the file from Campus Director, it will have much more information on it. So you will need to clean up the file. Again, you will also want to make sure it is a plain file that is saved as an Excel 97-2003 workbook. Once you have updated your file, you can upload it and select the round you are uploading the parties for. Please make sure you have included all parties for the round in the same file. Any P&Ms not assigned to a party will be updated to an inactive status of regret. I will go ahead and upload the first party file for the open house round. Once again, we will look for that green box to let us know that our upload was successful. With most updates in Omega Recruit, you can always look for that green box to know that your update was successful. If we return to the P&M list and go back to the setup page, you will see that steps 4 through 7 will remain. This is because we will repeat them throughout the rest of recruitment. We will advance through the rounds, upload our parties for each round, collect votes, and manage the P&Ms. Now that we have reviewed setting your chapter up for recruitment, we will discuss the rest of the menu items found on the left-hand side of the page. So under P&Ms and then P&M list, that's how you get here from any other menu item. As a reminder, this is the page we can get to the setup page for by clicking setup in the top left corner. So I've showed you that a couple of times, but just in case you forget. The P&M list is the primary hub of information for administrators. This is where you can review all P&Ms, their information, and scores. If we click on the hamburger menu in the right-hand corner, we will have a few options. The refresh and recalculate options can be used to make sure you have the most up-to-date information and scores. If you select Export P&M List, it will export a report of all of the P&M information. If you choose the Select Columns option, you can see all of the columns that you could show on the P&M list. You can select and deselect as many columns as you need, depending on what you are looking for. Sometimes you may want to see round scores. Other times you may want to see P&M background information. You can always come here and adjust the columns depending on your goal at that time. So for now, we're going to deselect some of the rounds and then add. So we have interest here, admin notes, legacy, and starred. And then once we choose the columns we want to see, we'll click on done. Then you'll see that the columns are adjusted to show these new columns. For many columns, like the interest and the admin notes, you can double click to add or adjust the content. So if you double click, you can add a note. Another column you may need to double click on is the picture column. If you ever need to add or edit a picture, you can double click on the cell to edit the URL listed. Most campuses will provide the URLs for all PNMs. If one is not available, you can get one online as long as you can right click on the image and copy image address, and then paste that URL here. This must be an image address and not just a URL for the page where the picture is. So just as a little tip, not clicking, you don't want to double click on the actual picture, you want to double click on the green space, and that will give you the URL where you can copy and paste. If you plan to use the star feature for the matching tool, you will need to star PNMs and users. To star a PNM, you can double click on the star and the starred column. You can also rearrange the columns if you need to. You will just highlight any columns you want to move and then drag and drop them to a different location. Please keep in mind, once you leave the PNM list, the order will rearrange back to the original order. At the top of the page, you will see that you can search and sort the PNM list. To search, you can type in any words that appear on the PNM list, even if the columns are not showing at this time. For example, we can search for freshmen, even though we are not looking at the class column. Or you can do sophomore if you wanted to do that. This will adjust the PNM list to only show you PNMs with what you are searching for. For example, sophomore has to be somewhere in their profile. Please keep in mind that this may come from a column other than the class column. Sometimes we see the word freshman or sophomore appear in their interest column, so we recommend clicking on the eye icon next to the search bar to review all of the advanced search options. If you find that you are getting too many PNMs for your search, you may need to adjust the wording in their profile or adjust your search. So clicking on here, it will show you how to do advanced search. There are many advanced search options, and this can help you to best search for the information you are looking for. To sort the list, you can either type the criteria into the sort bar, or you can double click on the header of the column you want to sort by. For example, we can double click on the party tab to show the PNMs in ascending party order. If we click on the menu icon again, there is also an option for a slideshow. This is one of two slideshows that's available in Omega Recruit. We call this the PNM list slideshow. So let's click on this to see what it looks like. This is an in-browser slideshow. Any PNMs currently showing on the PNM list. So if you searched for freshmen on your PNM list, only the freshman PNMs will appear on your slideshow. The menu icon in the top right corner will allow you to select which columns you want to view. You can use the arrow keys on your keyboard to flip between the PNMs. If you need to save or print this slideshow, you can select the P key from your keyboard. This will allow you to print the slideshow or save it as a PDF. Once you click on it, the screen will turn blue. You can then click and go to print. This will show you a print preview and allow you to either print or save the slideshow as a PDF. If the information does not all fit, you may need to use the More settings to adjust the scaling and margins. Once we have everything saved, we can use the Escape key on the keyboard to return to the PNM list. Now that we have reviewed the PNM list, let's take a look at everything else in the PNM's menu. So under PNMs, you can Come here to add P&M. This is where you can manually add a P&M one at a time. You will note that the only required information to add a P&M is the MIN, first name, and last name. If you're just adding one P&M, you may want to use this page. Under P&Ms and then upload P&Ms, this is your next option. You may remember this page from earlier, as this was the page we uploaded our P&Ms on. You can always upload your P&Ms from an Excel spreadsheet, no matter where you are at in the recruitment process. If you are uploading additional P&Ms, the system will only add P&Ms that have an MIN that is not already on the P&M list. This will ensure that only new P&Ms are added and there are not duplicate P&Ms. You will not lose any data from this process. After that is the upload parties section. As you remember, we went to this page to upload our parties. Each round will return to this page and upload our next round of party assignments. Since we have the practice file, let's go ahead and upload our next round. So you want to make sure you choose the correct round, your file, and click Submit Parties. So now let's look at all of the report options. Under the P&Ms menu, there will be a comments report and Recs report. If you are using the recommendations feature in Omega Recruit for alumni members to submit references for P&Ms, and then there is a report section. This is where most of your reports can be found. The P&Ms report will show you a summary of the P&Ms and their scores. This can be a great report to start your list at the end of each round. You can select to only include active P&Ms and if you want to include comments. When looking at the report, do not be concerned if you see a lot of negative ones. This is what it will show until votes have been submitted for that P&M for that round. You have quite a few options for the votes report and can use this to show the exact votes that have been submitted, including who submitted them and what the values of each vote were. The comments report will show a time-stamped list of all comments that have been submitted on the ballot. This slideshow report is the second slideshow option available in Omega Recruit. This will create a PowerPoint of the P&Ms. It does not include as much information as the other slideshow, but it is in PowerPoint format, which some people prefer. We also have the voter distribution tab. This will show an overall distribution report. They can show voting trends for the chapter as a whole. We also offer this information for each P&M and user in case you would like to see this information broken down. We saw the P&M report earlier and we'll see the user report shortly. Distribution reports can help you to better analyze and understand the data and trends behind the votes being submitted. Finally, we have the voter audit report. This will show any changes to votes that have been made. We'll look at how you can change votes later, but if a member incorrectly records a vote, votes on the incorrect P&M, or whatever it may be, you are able, as an admin, to update this. This vote is a log of all of those changes. It will show who made the update, what the original score was, and what it was changed to, even what time that was made. If your organization has categories, it will also show which one of those votes was changed. Under Hub, this shows graphs of key data points. With any of these graphs, you can click on the arrow in the bottom right corner to view the data points that were used to create the graph. These can also be downloaded to Excel using the download icon. This is another way to review the data on a deeper level and make the most of the information that is available to you. Below the hub menu is the matching feature. This tool is not a primary function of Omega Recruit, but can help you sort through the data in Omega Recruit to determine which members should speak with each of the P&Ms that will be visiting during the next round. There are 4 criteria you can use to generate potential matches. Recommendations, which are submitted by members on the ballot. Starred P&Ms or members, which we reviewed how to star a P&M and will show starring members in a moment. Interest and hometown. If you use this feature, your members will need to update their match profile so that there is data available for them. And I'll show you all this in just a little bit. For all of those items, you can select if they should be used, adjust the importance of them, and select if they need to be required. If it is required, this means that the system will not recognize it as a match unless that category is met. So if we require recommendations, even if a member and a P&M are from the same hometown, the system will not recognize it as a match unless there is also a recommendation for the member and P&M. If you ever need a report of all of the matches that members have submitted, you can deselect all of the other options and only use the recommendations category. This will generate a report of just this information. At the bottom, you will see an option for the maximum number of matches. This can be any number between 1 and 500, but we recommend starting somewhere between 2 and 5 matches. The higher the maximum, the more potential matches you will have to sort through. Finally, you will select the round and parties and select Generate. This will show you a list of potential matches based on the criteria you selected. You can select the plus sign to see the details of each match. If you need to remove any, you can select the box on the right side and then click the delete button at the bottom. You can also add a match manually by selecting Add New Match from the bottom. This will allow you to manually add any matches that were not generated automatically. We recommend making any adjustments like this, and then you can select to export the report to either Excel or PDF by using the buttons at the top of the page. You can toggle between the reports by using the results from the drop-down menu. If you ever regenerate the report for a round, it will overwrite the previous report for that round. Below the matching menu item is a vote tab. This is where voting members will access the ballot to cast their vote for P&Ms. I'll cover this in further detail in just a little bit, while as organization administrators cannot access the ballot. As previously covered, this is where you will manage voting rounds on this page. You can advance your parties and rounds, edit your chapter information. Be sure to add your recruitment dates here. Edit custom columns that will appear on the P&M list. Connect or disconnect ICS if your campus uses ICS. And finally, you can initiate a master reset here. This can be used if you are between a practice or previous recruitment and current recruitment to clear out all of your fake or previous recruitment data without removing your voting members for when the next recruitment starts. So do not use that if you are in the middle of recruitment because it will remove all of your information. So we're going to go ahead and open round 1 for when we go to look at the ballot. All right, next we're going to look at configuration under chapter on the left-hand side. You will see the configuration page. This page will house all the details regarding your specific organization's voting information if you have that. It will show your organization's name. And then under that, there's this training. On this tab, you will find a very detailed walkthrough, including screenshots of setting your chapter up in Omega Recruit. Also, our support email is linked here should you not find what you are looking for on this page. We also have our Get Help section that has various articles, videos, and webinars that we upload every month when we have webinars. You can view them here as well as on our YouTube channel. If you still need help, you can click on the mail icon here. In the event that the training or the Get Help section was not helpful, you can use this support button to contact the Omega Recruit team. Here you will include your message and designate a priority of the issue or question. Make sure to fill it out thoroughly so our support team can answer you as quickly as possible. So now we're going to go over what the voting process looks like for your members. After an administrator advances the round and party, voting members, aka users, will sign into Omega Recruit and access ballot to place their votes. All your voting members need to do to use the system is register, log in, and cast their votes. A quick note here, the ballot appearance and voting scales will vary from organization to organization, so do not be alarmed if your ballots look different than the one shown here. Additionally, voting options and scales are set up by your national organization, and chapters do not have access to change them. So once logged in, users will go select the P&M's name from the drop-down list on the ballot. Once a P&M is selected, they can also select the light bulb to view more information about the person. After viewing the information about the P&M, the user can select the page icon on the top right of the box to go back to the ballot. On the ballot, they select their score and enter any comments about the P&M. If your organization uses the matching feature, your users can also select a recommended sister match if appropriate. The sisters in this pick list are the users who are starred in the user list. So once the ballot is completed, the user selects submit. So I'm going to go ahead and add a few votes here so we have some data to review. Now we're going to return back to the organization administrator account to review voting activity. You can view voting activity in several places. The top section of the left menu always displays real-time data on the number of users, P&Ms, and votes. Also, the P&M list shows vote counts and averages for each round. To navigate to the P&M list, you'll click P&Ms and then P&M list. To view individual votes for P&M, you will select the P&M's name and go to the Vote Details tab. You can also select the Comments tab to see comments your users submitted for that member. The Recruitment Stats tab shows scoring distribution. If you need to add a vote for a user, first make certain you're in the round party that the vote needs to be submitted in. You can always double check the round in the top left of the menu. If not, go to the chapter menu and then the advanced round party to update the open round party the vote needs to be submitted in. Once you have confirmed you're in the correct round, then you'll go to users and then user list to select the user. And then you'll go to add votes. Additionally, if you need to cast a vote for yourself, you can click Vote in the left menu bar. If you need to edit or delete a vote made in error, you can do so in two ways. You can again navigate to the Users menu and User List. Select the users whose vote needs to be modified or deleted. Find the member whose vote needs to be changed and click Edit or Delete. Or you can go to the P&M list. You can then click on the P&M name. Find the vote under Vote Details, and then from here you can click Edit or Delete. As a reminder, we have many resources to help you with the application. Again, under the training section here, you can access the administrator guide, complete with screenshots. If you still don't find what you need there, you can go to our Get Help section. And if you still can't find what you need, you can, again, send a message to our support team and they will get back to you. So that wraps up everything for the chapter setup, the overall menu, and voting in Omega Recruit. Again, you can use our Get Help link to get to our help center. And if you need to send an email, you can do recruitment_support@omegafy.com, and our support team will respond right away. We have 24-hour support during recruitment season. So if you have any issues that pop up, don't hesitate to email them. Make sure that you include your organization, your name, anything that will help them so they can answer it as quickly as possible. Thank you all for joining, and I hope you have a great afternoon.